theme tune, boys. I don't see any reason if we want to have a little executive meeting. We don't need to change anything about the theme tune, do we? Okay, no. We're good. That's agreed. No. We move forward with the same theme tune.
Motion is passed.
Okay, great. What about this one? What about this tune? Rocket up in Queensland. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Mate, welcome back. Good. Welcome back. We were having a little chat off air, and Rocket very much has already very quickly 1 week in embraced the Queenslander lifestyle. He will be supporting the Maroons, I've got no doubt, this year at the State of Origin. Shout out to all the Storm boys that have been playing plenty of golf over the break. How's Queensland, Rocket?
It's really good. It's really good. It's been an interesting week and a half.
Okay. More importantly, I see some pictures. You've posted a couple of little pictures of Chateau Roquet. So maybe, I don't know this previous size of your house because you never invited us out there for 9-hole front nine golf in the front yard. But it does look like a substantial downsize in the yardage size. Are you going to be okay having a lawn that you don't have to ride the mower on?
Yeah. So sold the ride on, and it's only a small parcel of grass, and have already been eyeballing what needs to be done. You know, a little bit of drainage needs to be sorted out. Then probably going to scalp it, put some more soil, sand and stuff down, and then think about what's the grass I need to put in there. And you know, I might be able to get real super nerdy and maybe get some cylinder mower action and get some stripes or some crisscross checkers happening. I don't know. So it's not too big and it's not too small. So I think it's perfect to get really nerdy.
No doubt you will find something to satisfy your grassmanship urges. And I like the sound of a Scott Bonner cylinder mower there. And what grass would you grow up there?
I don't know. I've actually been thinking of the new strain. It's like a Bermuda cross. So it's the Tiff Tuff. So the Aussie, not the Lawn Tips guy, he did a Tiff Tuff in his front yard and turned it into like a little putting green. So that might be the right one for this sort of climate up here. As long as I don't have anything that goes dormant or anything like that, I think that's why this one's a bit of a hybrid. But yeah, I've got to do a bit more research. But I think Tiff Tuff might be the way to go.
Well, we will find out. Mike and I will make it our mission to find out for you tomorrow. We'll get some expert advice.
Oh, yes, yeah. Actually, because you do have the right man.
One of the downsides of you moving to Queensland is that in the 2022 version of the Mlog Golf podcast, where we've made a commitment to play more golf, bring more golf pictures, more golf action, Mike and I, that challenge is left to you and I. We'll be hosting Stephen Britton from the Mile of Golf podcast, but more importantly, Director of Grounds at Chevy Chase Club. Mike and I will be hosting Stephen Britton tomorrow at Peninsula Kingswood. We'll get the information for what grass you should have up there in the Queensland climates. If you could send us a shade profile, a water profile, send us any information about it, that'd be great.
I can take a photo. How about I take a photo and I'll tag you guys in it and tag him in it.
Okay.
And just see if I can get some Twitter advice from him.
No problems. Well, speaking of that, it's a big day on the golf course tomorrow on a number of fronts. 36 holes tomorrow. Mike, are you ready?
I only played 36 now. That's a normal day for me, which is good.
Okay. Well, great. So no need to pack the VAS or anything like that. Just you're rock hard and ready.
Yep, ready to go.
Okay, very good. And Peak Cheese Week, you got through it?
Peak Cheese Week, yeah. Peak Cheese Week is done. It's pretty much finished, but it is still quite busy. Supermarkets are busy, and we'll be busy all the way through to Australia Day because people still like entertaining. And then we'll slow down a little bit when everyone goes on their diets in Feb after they've had a month of eating and drinking too much.
That smoky cheddar, Mike, that was absolutely spectacular.
Good. Yes, the Stokes Point smoked is a ripper.
There has been a few things in the journey, Mike, that have resonated with the listeners. A lot of the things that have come out of your good host sitting up above you here, Rocket, otherwise known as Rocketisms, they resonated with the listeners. But Peak Cheese Week certainly Got to laugh.
It did.
Especially with me. I can't stop saying it. I don't know why. I just love the concept of you having peak cheese week. You know, I get Boxing Day and Boxing Day sales. You're getting ready for Boxing Day. You're going to have a busy Boxing Day. And I'm glad to see that other industries have their peak selling seasons, and yours is peak cheese week. Rocket and I were both the beneficiaries of some King Island peak cheese. That didn't last long. When I finally got it out of the fridge and brought it home. What did I have? The camembert?
You had some special stuff because you had the stuff that I'd brought home from the one day that I'd spent in the office in the last 2 years. So we had a triple cream black label brie. So it was a Seal Bay that we have a blue. So it was black label blue. And then we had an 800 gram wheel of brie that we don't actually sell in the market. So you can only get it in restaurants and things like that. So we had I think it was about a quarter of that went your way. And
was that the one that you sent me to?
You got the Seal Bay, which is the normal one, because you got the pre-packed stuff because I couldn't get to where you were.
Yeah.
So I dropped some that I had from home into Ross in the city when I picked up the new sticks. Nice. Yeah,
well,
I got
the brie that you sent was absolutely spectacular. That got decimated on Christmas Day.
Good. That's good.
I wasn't happy. Oh, sorry to interrupt again. I wasn't happy with the triple dog dare on the jalapeno.
There's the Mersey Valley jalapeno, which I think is a ripper. But Rocket's not a one for the spicy food, so I double dog dared him to try it.
Send me that what do you call it? Double dog dare. Send me that double dog dare hot spicy cheese any day of the week. I will hoover that down. Now, of course, this is an unsponsored segment, but the Peak Cheese Week does lead into King Island. King Island leads into Mike's little 2-day trip to King Island. Yep. How was that, Mike? How was the trip to King Island with the little plane, the hooded hooligan in front of you, the gentleman in front of you that didn't look like he cared too much for small plane flying, and your good self?
No, it was good. He was a young surfer bloke going home. So as myself and, funnily enough, my mate, whose nickname is Cheese, but he's never worked in cheese. I don't know whether maybe we just sort of, become closer together because of the fact that that's what I do for work. But Cheese and I flew down 2 days of golf on KI, standard trip, down in the little baby plane, out of Moorabbin. Out of Moorabbin and landed at KI. Straight up to Whickham, 36 holes, back to Curry, stay the night, get up in the morning, straight to Ocean Dunes, 36 more and home. We actually added on another 7 at the end of the 36 at Ocean Dunes because we were flying. It was very quiet on the island. So there was only, there was us and about maybe 10 or 12 other people on each course each day. And of the 10 or 12 others, 8 of them were a Japanese or Chinese tourist group, two groups of 4. And they had the luxury of watching us cruise past them both days. So we came up behind them and then went straight through, kept going.
You would have been flying.
We were flying. So we got in on day one. As soon as you land in, you're into King Island by about 9 a.m. on that flight. So it's about 40 minutes up to Whickham. Then we teed off. We decided to play back tees first. Cheese had never been there before, so I was sort of giving him the caddy card. And then we played off the back tees, Stableford, and then we went back around off the normal white tees second time around, but got around comfortably at Whickham, obviously. And then the next day we thought we might be battling because we teed off at about 7:30 in the morning, but with nobody around, even with such a distance that Ocean Dunes covers, I think it's about nearly 12 Ks. We still got around comfortably, and there was no one out there, so we literally just took off on the cart, and I sort of charted a little route that got another 7 holes in, and then straight to the airport.
What excellent. A couple of days.
It was a great couple of days, yeah. And as we were just saying before we started, that's my 3rd trip down, and I don't think they get too many days better than the 2 we had. There's not a breath of wind on day 2, which was unheard of. The photo that you can see behind me, if you're watching, that's from the little par 3 on Ocean Dunes, and that is that's a whale in the background that people might be able to just see. That was there was a couple of whales playing just off the coast right next to us, and yeah, it was a perfect couple of days. Came home very tired, but yeah, well worth it.
Is that par 3 that's like the 10th or 11th or something like the 10th? Is it the one that you go down the hill from the little pro shop hut?
No, that is 10, but no, this one was the one on the front side. I think it's 4. I think it's a signature hole. It's the one that sort of plays over all the rocks and outcrops there.
Yep.
Yeah.
2 great par 3s nonetheless. The short one and then the longer one. That 10th hole is that could stand up on any golf course anywhere in the world. That 10th hole. I really like Ocean Dunes. It plays second fiddle to Cape Whickham, but I like Ocean Dunes.
I do too. Look, when the honest answer is the first time I went through and played both, that was probably 3 or 4 years ago. I thought Whickham was a clear winner of the two. And each time I've gone back, I've found that the distance between them getting a lot closer together. And this time around, Whickham was as good as Whickham can be. Probably, I think they battled a little bit with not having many people around just with COVID, and there's been very limited staff up there. So I don't think they had many people through. So it wasn't the course wasn't worn out or anything like that. It was just probably not where they wanted to be. Whereas Ocean Dunes was a little bit different. Ocean Dunes was immaculate, as good as I've ever seen it. Of the 3 trips I've done and 6 rounds I've played there, the course was spectacular. And we bumped into a lot of grounds crew and talked to them the whole way around and said to them, like, the course looks great, looks absolutely sensational. And they were loving it. They were just having a chat and wandering around. They shocked at 2 blokes bolting around in a cart.
Rocky, you haven't played King Island or Cape Wickham? No. You mentioned the grounds crew. The Sandbelt Classic was held just the couple of days before Christmas in Melbourne, in Sandbelt. Royal Melbourne, Kingston Heath, Yarra Yarra, and then South Course at Peninsula Kingswood. I had the privilege of going out with the greens keeping staff, the ground staff on the South Course at 5:30 a.m. as they were preparing the course for the tournament conditions. So I was interested to see the course getting set up. I was interested to get my new camera out and get the big lens out, and the guys down there were interested that someone was interested in what they were doing. And as a member of the course and having interest in what the guys were doing, they were just so happy that someone wanted to come out and take some photos of them and share the photos with them. And it was just great to see these guys out there just putting so much passion into their craft. And I'm sure the guys at Ocean Dunes felt exactly the same. Yeah. The guys at Peninsula Kingswood, you could not be any more effusive and complimentary to the way that the course was turned out for that tournament the last day. The feedback from the players that you could just hear emanating around was sensational. Of course, the other courses were all turned out fantastic as well, I believe, from the feedback. But obviously having such close contact with Peninsula Kingswood as we do, it was unbelievable. But what was even more unbelievable was the vibe, the atmosphere, the players, the energy, the enthusiasm for a tournament hosted across 4 unbelievable golf courses in a town which is full of unbelievable golf, which makes its name on unbelievable golf in the renaissance and the revitalisation of this great game that we have. And the buzz from the players, and I don't know many of them, but I know a few, had a bit of a chat, and they were blown away by what they had experienced as professional golfers. Congratulations, of course, to Brady Watt. Brady Watt's a Peninsula Kingswood member. He's a Perth boy originally, moved across here, plays out of Peninsula Kingswood, shot about 10 under, pretty much led from the second day to the finish, and a humble, nice young man. Has his partner Grace, former staff member at Peninsula Kingswood, funnily enough. Great couple. Took some photos of them at the end there. They were really appreciative. Go on and jump on and listen to What's Up podcast. Brady has his own podcast, has been doing that for a couple of years. Great young man, and congratulations to him. But congratulations to Jeff Ogilvie and Mike Clayton, the 2 architects of the tournament. Had a bit of a chat to Jeff, and he was just like, to see the amateurs hanging out with the pros and realizing that, we're just normal people like you, like them, like us, and to see them lifting their spirits, lifting their confidence by being able to play alongside us and see that we struggle as well, see that we play well and see that they play well. That was even more inspiring to me to watch. And once again, talking to young Keely Marks at the end, I got a photo with Herbie and Keely, and she was like totally fangirling Herbie. She was, she was just so excited as a young amateur to be around these players, the men and the women. Once again, walking the fairways, men and women playing together. It was unreal. It was unreal, and it just goes on the back of the Vic Open and the work that they've done there, and it was just unreal. There's no hassle from the spectators walking the fairways. Everyone's respectful, and it was just awesome to see it and be part of it from 5:30 in the morning right through till 7:30 at night when whoever the officiators were knocking the top off a sponsor's product.
No, it'll be good. Next time around, I'm definitely going to make the time to get there. Peak Cheese Week or not. I mean, it'd be great to see.
Very good. Now, Rocket, what have you been up to in the golfing front? What have you noticed on the Twitter spheres? I see a little bit of action there. I see you commenting on a few things. What's caught your eye in the golf world?
The induction, how they've been able to take the induction hot plate and stick it to a face of a driver.
Oh, you're talking about the new TaylorMade Carbonwood, now the Carbonwood era. Yeah, right.
What $1,000. Like, not only can you hit 300-yard bombs now, but you can also, after you're round, flip it over and just whack a fry pan on it and maybe make some bacon and eggs on the induction face.
I thought you would love it. The colours suit you right down to the ground, the red and black.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, go on, Rocket.
I was just thinking about it. It just reminded me of a hot plate.
Because of the colour, right? Is that what you're saying? Oh, well, funnily enough, I'm glad you asked. Here's one right here at hand. Probably the first and only podcast in Australia to have one live on a podcast. I actually happen to have the new TaylorMade Carbonwood Stealth right here. I've got both of them, the Stealth Plus and the Stealth. And you're right, Rocket. Like the call out signature red on the face there is different. But if you spend 20 years developing new technology for a driver and then you finally bring it to market in a way that no one else has been able to do in the past, you'd want everyone to see and know that you're playing with the latest technology that you spent 20 years developing as well. The big thing about it is that look at that there. You can see it because Rocket's a TaylorMade man. He loves it. He loves the TM. Look at that. Beautiful. 60 grams of carbon make the face up there, strategically positioned and layered together, not just slapped on top of each other, but like a bond. There goes the other one falling over. A nano texture specially designed by TaylorMade covers the face, and you can actually feel it. Mike, you'll feel this tomorrow because I'll bring it with. But it's quite amazing. Obviously, six layers of carbon on the crown, 60 on here, and it looks sensational. There it is right there for the first in hand. No one else has got one of these in the hand, only me.
Have you hit it?
I may have had a sneaky hit before the embargo date was released as I was preparing for my new role. January 1 starts a little bit of a new sort of direction for me in the drum and golf world. Yes, I'll still be working and still have my ownership in the franchise, but I'm going to start to do a little bit more of this type of work for drum and golf. I sort of may have alluded to that last year. If you want to check your old mate out here, boys, you could go to the Drum and Golf YouTube channel, and
I just subscribed.
Thank you. A little bit of behind the scenes for those that like to listen and like to want to go and have a look at me on YouTube. If you follow us on YouTube at the Mile of Golf YouTube, we've already seen us making fools of ourselves and having some fun as well. Those, I think there'll be 4, 5 or 6 minute videos up there by the time you get there. If I could tell you that the anxiety, the fun, the challenge, the heartbreak, the alleviation, the jubilation, and every emotion in between that went into making 4 6-minute videos I've experienced since I picked these clubs up and started making these things. I kid you not, like there was the secrecy of holding clubs that no one else could see. I had to sign the disclaimers and all of that usual stuff that you get with, we used to do in the car and all that sort of stuff. And so I was used to that. But, standing at a golf course with them, obviously at Peninsula Kingswood, it's peak cheese week. So everyone's out playing golf. Oh, good day, Ross. How you going? And I'm covering these things with a towel, and I thought, it's too hot and it's too busy, so I've got to go. I wasn't there early enough. And then standing down at Mornington Golf Club, and thanks Mornington for being a host for some filming, and they will continue to be this year when we film more content. Standing on the 15th tee, the one down over the back, looking over Mount Eliza, fantastic, beautiful, sun's going down. You couldn't be in a more serene, calming place. And I'm sitting there with 3 cameras set up like a big wally, and I just couldn't come out. It just was, I couldn't, and I was almost in tears. By the end, I rang Alex. It was a birthday, 30th of December. I'm under some time pressure to get this done. So, darling, I've got nothing. I'm standing here and I'm looking at the beach and looking at the water. I've got nothing. Come home. Thanks for ruining my birthday. No, she didn't say that. She was very considerate. Then I dragged her back in there on. I didn't drag her. We got to January 1. We don't celebrate really New Year's Eve in a traditional New Year's Eve sense here. We wait till 11 o'clock the next day because that's when the bells toll in Edinburgh, and that's when, for her, it's really New Year's Day for us. So that's when we do that. Well, at 11 o'clock on January 1, we were standing in the shop at Drummond Golf Central, which I now refer to as DGTV Studios, filming again. Once again, 3 cameras up, all that sort of palaver, lights, but cameras, no action. But yeah, lights, cameras, no action. All day filming. Anyway, I got there in the end. I got there with 1 camera. I got my young fella because then my editor went on holidays. He was gone. So I co-opted Lockie. He was in a state and the pressure that I put him under. 1 camera, 1 take, bang. There you go. That's what you get.
Pressure.
There you go.
Pressure makes diamonds.
Thank you. So if you want to go over to Drummond Golf YouTube and you want to leave a little like, share, subscribe, a comment, if you've listened to the podcast and you've heard about anything, leave a comment over there because then they know that we've talked about Drummond Golf on the podcast and they might get an extra
shekel or a wheel of cheese.
I might get an extra bag of teas and a chrome soft.
I just commented, was this shot with 1 camera or 2? I just wrote that underneath that video.
Thanks, Mike. You can come to golf tomorrow. There you go. So yeah, that's a bit of a new venture, but that's the reason why I've got the new TaylorMade Stealth and Stealth Plus here. But I've also got, it would be remiss of me not to bring out the other significant release. Not that one.
My boys.
This one from Team Callaway.
Yes.
Which, Mike, you are a unofficial unpaid ambassador for now. There you go, the Rogue ST. Interesting as well to see, the embargoes and all that unfold for, the significant releases of the big golf brands. So it was interesting to be a little bit of an insider and fly on the wall for that. But there is a look at the Rogue ST. That's the Max D. Do you want to hit that one tomorrow? That'll help you slice, Mike.
Yeah,
no
bit
slice,
of driver doping.
There's no slice. My new driver is an absolute weapon.
We'll get to that.
Weapon. So on the Rogue, where does that fit into the tree of Callaway? So So
that's their release for this year. So the driver you've got is last year, and that'll have a longer lifespan, and then the Rogue ST family fits in this year.
Yep.
And so they release 1 model every year.
Yep.
Where TaylorMade will release 2 models every year. So that makes sense.
Yep.
So Callaway will have 2 model names in their profile, in their range, and every year one of those gets replaced. Every second year one gets replaced. So every year there's a new one. Where TaylorMade, last year it was Sim 2, so they had 2 Sim 2s. Yep. This year they've got Stealth, and then next year it'll be something else. So blah 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 blah. So that's how it fits. But it's the Stealth is the Rogue ST. There's 4 drivers. There's one for every player type. There's the ultra low spin, and then the ultra forgiving one, the Max D, which has got the draw bias, and then the triple diamond, which has got the super low spin, and for the big bombers. Yeah, of course. Irons. That's the Rogue ST Pro. So that's like your better players profile with hollow core microspheres and urethane microspheres in there, cup face, all that sort of stuff, and there's a range of stealth irons as well. It's been quite interesting.
Yeah, it's Christmas comes on the 1st of January for golf, really, doesn't it? With all of Kapalua and all the new players. I did see Colin Morikawa didn't play the Sim 2, but is gone straight into the new one. So that must be a good sign for the new one, you'd think, if he didn't take the automatic change, but he's gone straight into that one.
It does look good. It looks great, but the key technology change in the carbon it reduces the weight of the face. Obviously, carbon, and it's allowed them to make the face much bigger. So when you see this tomorrow, you'll go, wow, that is a big face. Big face, confidence inspiring. You can't miss off a big face. So maybe.
So when you say big face, what, deeper, wider?
Yeah, it's like 11% bigger. So, you can see it when you get it in front of you, like you have there. It's hard to see on the computer camera there, Rocket, but that's quite deep. But in the past, when we had this level of depth, well, it meant you had to sacrifice shape to maintain 460 cc's. You had to sacrifice length in the club, and when you sacrifice length, you reduce the forgiveness, because MOI, moment of inertia, you achieve most MOI when the weight and the club is down low and further back. So the further away from the face you can get the weight, the more forgiving. So no one, even Dustin Johnson, like those guys, they still want forgiving. Even because they can hit it, 370 out of the middle, they still want forgiveness. So, this sort of level of depth would mean you'd have to have a really short driver and less forgiving. So no one wanted that. Now think about the SLDR. That was really low CG, forward CG, high in the face. It was a rocket ship, but really unforgiving. So it didn't last for very long. So that's one of the benefits there, that big face. You'll see it, Mike, tomorrow.
Yeah.
But the Callaway is also super, super forgiving. This is AI SS22. Do you know what AI SS22 is? You've got SS21 in your driver, Mike.
21's my lucky number.
Australian Institute of Sport 2022.
So, yes, I'm in.
Well, it's the same level of technology that probably even more so that the Australian Olympic team uses to achieve their great results. No, it's computer-aided design. So behind this face, there's all these little waves, and the computer, AI, puts the mass behind. It's basically plotted 1,000 million golf shots and worked out where it has to have the mass for every possible strike configuration. So, when you hit one out of the toe, you don't lose as much ball speed. When you hit out of the heel, your heely cut is less impacted by loss of ball speed. So you get greater accuracy, better distance. But it's got all that sort of stuff there, carbon in the toe, carbon here, the carbon on top, Formula One design. So you can see this is a bit lower in the face and a little bit longer. Exciting stuff for a podcast.
Speaking of the AIS, I spent a week and a half in the Canberra one back in about 94, and I nearly had the pleasure of being speared by Jane Fleming's javelin coming around a corner. She was going a little bit faster than she should have been as I was leaving the mess hall area, and nearly got impaled.
Wow. That would not tickle. How?
No.
I've got so many questions about that. So where was she, inside or outside? She walking with it, or was she about to throw it?
No, I was outside. She's coming back with it. Like, she must have been going back from. I don't even know what she was doing, but all I know is that where athletes would eat, and we were eating when we were there, and we're leaving and going to the dome, because we're doing some testing down in the dome, and I'm sort of walking down there, and she comes around this corner, and it's like this javelin, like really impaled me.
Gee whiz.
And how did that meeting go? It was like, oh, hi, Jane. Sorry, no, that's okay. Sorry, excuse me, I'm in your way. I was like, oh, Rocket, I heard you're up here for the golf. I'm sorry, I nearly impaled you with the javelin.
Yeah, look, I had to be really nice and give her my autograph and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Who were you there with?
Signed a glove.
There was a couple. There's about three. There were 3 players from each state. So each of the states. So it was like they selected a heap from each of the states for just a week and a half of high performance stuff. So we had like Ross Herbert. Trying to remember who some of the coaches were there. Ross Herbert. There's a couple of other really good names, and the names escape me. But then, we were stationed at the Canberra AIS, not the Sandringham, where they had the golf program running, and so it was really good, and it was interesting being there in Canberra as well, because all the other athletes were there. So it's like I saw Kathy Freeman training. Oh my god. That was 94 too. That's before peak Kathy Freeman as well. Well, not far away from peak Kathy. because I think about 95 to about 97 was when she was really hit her straps. And then, yeah, it was mainly a lot of the athletics people were still there because it was like the first 2 weeks of January.
That would have been an experience. Ross Herbert, I remember Ross Herbert from the Narrabeen Sport and Rec Camps days, which went on to be the New South Wales Institute of Sport. We used to go down there for Golf Week every year, and Ross was the main guy. And yeah, there's probably not too many pros between your vintage and my vintage that weren't touched by the gracefulness of Ross Herbert's coaching. Of course, for those that know Ross,
Matty Goggin,
Rummy was a big Ross Herbert disciple. So Ross is not with us anymore, but he was a big loss to Australian golf coaching.
Brendan Jones, who crushes it in Japan.
Yeah, Codge.
Yeah, heaps.
So we move on to this year's golf, and this year's golf's going to be even more interesting for us because we're running the My Love of Golf tipping competition. It's not a betting, there's no gambling, it's just a tipping competition, and it's been run through what does it run through? The Teepster?
Teepster. Yep.
Which is part of Aussie Golfers network of products, I think. But Teepster. So what is one and done? What is a one and done tipping competition, Mike?
Yeah, it's pretty easy for everyone to follow. And like I think I said early or late last year, if you put a bit of effort in and plot your way out, you'll probably do a lot better than someone like me who's just going to pick someone each week. So effectively, it's going to start next week at the Sony Open. So we don't worry about this week for the 10th Century Tournament of Champions. And effectively, each week you need to pick one player. That's it. Pick who you think's going to win. And whatever they earn in prize money is what you get in points. So if you pick, the bloke who makes the cut, you get 60 grand. If you pick the guy who misses the cut, you get 0. And you pick the winner, you might get, 1.5 million. At the end of the year, we'll have a winner. And so there'll be a leaderboard the whole way through. We work out those prizes, and we'll have a few little prizes throughout the year. The only thing to remember, and this is the biggest piece, is it's a one and done. So you only get to pick each player once. So if you like, Justin Thomas at Sony, because he's a really good player at Sony, that's great. But you can't have Justin Thomas at the Masters because you've used him. So if you have a bit of a think about it early days and think, oh, you know what? I really like this guy at this tournament, then save him for then. But just make sure he's going to play in that tournament, because you don't want to save someone for down the line and get to say the end of the season and you've got a few big names still up your sleeve that you can't use.
Now, Mike, I've got a question out of that. Obviously, our massive growth in popularity last year is born on the back of your wonderful tipping. You did win enough cash through your own tipping to re-kit yourself with some fine Callaway product, which we'll talk about later. Is this tipping competition that we're running going to affect your ability to provide advice? Is it going to scupper?
No.
Are you going to throw smokies out there now and tell people?
Definitely not.
Oh, okay, right.
I think and it's up to you guys how you want to do it, but I think that each week we should be, when we're doing a pod, we should be nominating who we're putting up. So we should be letting everyone know. So if they want to go against us, then they can.
Okay.
Yeah, and sorry, I should mention as well, you do get to pick 2. So you do get a reserve. So as an example, if we were playing this week, Cameron Champ pulled out a few hours ago. He's tested positive to COVID. So if that does happen, you do have a reserve sitting there that you can utilise. So each week you should always end up with a player. But yeah, I think we should nominate who we're picking each week on the podcast. So that way, if someone wants to dodge my picks, then they can.
Can we have a little senior team management meeting for a second? This project needs a manager, and Phil Cathell up in Sydney's been a very able supporter. Phil, can we appoint Phil as the assistant manager and working underneath the team, the management team of you, Mike, in this project?
Definitely, it should be easy. There shouldn't be anything else to do, but it'd be good for someone else to just make sure it gets done. Okay,
because I'm probably going to reach out and say I need some help. I probably
no, definitely. Anyone, flick us a note through either my Instagram, Twitter, whatever it is you want to ask any questions, or just yell out. No dramas at all. And we'll post the link so that people can just sign up. It's free to sign up. It's really easy.
And if you want the secret Twitter tip handle of Mike's, which goes unannounced, but only if you contact him with the special code word, tell me the tip handle, Mike. If you contact him that way through the obvious ones, he might give it to you. Rocket, are you into this tipping game? Are you down? Are you one and down and down?
Yeah, I've already signed up.
Oh, good. Oh,
so you're the only one not in.
Okay.
There's about 10 or 12 people in there already.
Okay, great.
11, I think. I just looked at it before.
There you go. I've seen, and if anyone's got any mates, just get them on board, get them onto the pod, and get them onto the competition.
So, if you want to get your mates involved, you can send the link out to them. It's as simple as that. They just sign up. It's what's it called? The My Love of Golf on Teepstow.
It says join a public league, and as soon as you go into there, you'll see it says My Love of Golf. You just click on that, and you're entered.
This is awesome. This is going to be fantastic. This is going to be unreal. So,
the best part is we'll do, like we said, we'll do a prize for the majors. So, you could quite easily still win something if you're only playing the last 2 majors of the year and get a good result in both. But also if someone picks this up late, it's not like footy tipping where if the horse is bolted, you're done. You can jump into this, 5 or 10 tournaments in and you can still easily make up the cash because you haven't used any of the players.
We did say that we did announce some sort of a small prize kitty. It was 200. Was it 250, 500? What was it? How much was it?
I think it said 250 for the overall winner, but we'd have a prize for whoever gets the most over the majors, and then I'll figure out some stuff and send some cheese and things around. I'll put some things up, or through the podcast might say something like we'll do West Coast swing or Texas swing, and I'll throw some cheese out to some people. Or if I can't get them fresh cheese, I'll get some cheese boards and knives sent out.
Oh, the knife's fan. How do you pronounce that? The laguiole? The laguiole?
I don't know. Rocket's knife's still sitting here because I didn't post it because his cheese came externally, but I'll post it up to him.
The cheese knife's great.
Fancy cheese knives, yeah.
Oh, well, if you want a fancy cheese knife. But of course, the benefit of me being part of DGTV, I'm pretty sure that we'll be able to get some access to some decent prizes. I personally, through the My Love of Golf podcast network, will put up the funds for the Drum and Golf vouchers. So you'll be able to spend those anywhere and get any level of kit you want. But so I'll put that up, but I'm sure that some of the suppliers and some of our partners will be coming to the ball and will be coming to the table. And I'm sure that as we get into it, there'll be more and more people wanting to jump on. So thanks to Phil and thanks to you, Mike, for putting that together. It's going to be great.
2022 might be the year that TaylorMade kick me out. Come on. I've only been shilling this for like 4 years now. Come on.
Well, Mike just got he paid for it. It's not a sponsored thing, but we looked after him. For your Callaway gear, you are a Callaway man. How's that going?
The honest answer is I was, because I hadn't had time to hit anything yet, because I picked them up, what was it, Boxing Day? And so we were flying to King Island on the 29th, and I wasn't going to get time to play. So I was a bit concerned about going down there with new driver and new irons. And in the middle, I'd had time to play a quick 9 one night. And I was just carrying the Seamus bag with 6 clubs in it and the old driver. And I was striping the driver, and I thought, no, I'll take this one down to King Island. I won't take the new stuff. Got home, packed the bags, and went, no, I'm taking all the new stuff. So the first time I hit anything was literally a hole 1 at Whickham. And the driver is an absolute weapon. Like I know I'm not a golf technology guy, so I don't really know all the stuff you've just spilled off before about those drivers. But the ball comes off, I can only describe as just dead flight. Like it just doesn't move. Like normally if I hit a poor one and it's going to fizz around it all, this thing doesn't move. It just goes like a flare. And when you hit it, it goes a very, very long way, much further than I was hitting the old driver. And the irons were fantastic. Irons, more than anything, the only problems I had with the irons was more the user of the tools and not the tools. So everything worked really well, which was great. I think best example is after the second time around Ocean Dunes, I played to my handicap with 3 wipes. So I was pretty happy with that.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad the Apex Pros are working, and the what did you get there? Epic. What was the driver we got you? The Epic Flash.
Epic. They're the new Epic. Yep.
Epic flash. Epic. The LS. You got the LS, the Max LS.
Yep.
So very good.
It's ready to go. You'll see me in a couple past you tomorrow.
Well, let's get that on camera, and then people might actually believe it's possible. But
no one's believing that.
Rocket, are you made any further progress into the potential new home of the Rocket Golfmanship?
What, in terms of a club?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've just got my form submitted and stuff. So hopefully in the next month I'll get a tick.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Very good. We're going to see you out there in when's the Olympics coming to Brisbane?
2032.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, they'll start sizing the volunteers tracksuit out now for Rocket Man.
Volunteers. He's got 10 years to make the team.
Yeah,
please.
Just call me the boy from Brisbane, not the boy from Bratislava.
Oh dear. Well, whether it's a volunteer uniform,
and do you know what? I reckon club. If I think Mike and Ashley and that they need to send me to go and play whatever course that they want to get a job on, because it seems like wherever I go or wherever I've played, they get the contract to do a restoration or a renovation.
Okay, so pray tell.
Oh well, I've played Royal Canberra and Mount Lawley, and I joined Kingswood. Now I'm trying to join RQ. Oh, guess who gets the contract to do a renovation on RQ? OCM. You're welcome, guys.
So you are the architecture to what to the pro players that I play in the pro-ams with.
That's it.
You're the contract whisperer, and I'm the PGA Tour whisperer. There you go.
That's it.
Speaking of PGA Tour and tournaments and so on and so forth, congratulations to Min Woo. Posted a picture of his official invitation to the Masters.
Haven't you played with him in a pro-am or something, Ross?
Look, I didn't want to go on about it, but I was just about to remind everyone that I don't know if you did remember, but I did play with Min Woo at the 2019 Australian Open Pro-am at the Australian. Did hit some bombs, did hit some fizzing bladed 54 wedges into the TV tower, and maybe did take the gel coat off the sponsor's product in the back of the green on the lake there. Why would you put a boat behind a green? Congratulations, Ben Woo, top 50 in the world, and invitation to the Masters. That's pretty good to see the young man getting a spot at the Masters. It's going to be awesome to see him stride in the fairways.
There's going to be lots of Aussies. You've got him, you've got Herbie, then you'll have obviously Leash, Cam Smith, Adam Scott, J Day Mabley.
Yeah, I was just thinking that I'm not sure. He's certainly not in. He's not in the top 100 in.
No, and his PGA Championship exemption runs out. Just depends on the Players Championship one. He might get one more year out of that one.
Yeah,
I'll have to look that one up.
Not my department, but it's going to be great. But Min Woo, I think he's got a good game for Augusta. But we've only got a few months to wait and see now. But it's closer now than it was yesterday. What else? Anything else?
Looking forward to getting everything settled, and maybe I'll roll into a DG and I'll get myself some new sticks.
Well, keep me posted. We can point you in the right direction there and get you fitted and do all that sort of stuff. That'd be great. I'm sure there's some what'd you be? You'd be P7MC blades or P7MC cavity blades, something like that.
I don't know. I've bounced around to a few, so whether or not I stick with doing blades or do I, go into some of the cavity ones, because, don't mind a little bit of distance, a little bit of forgiveness. Although, if I'm probably going to play more up here than what I have previously anyway. Fingers crossed I am. And if that's the case, then me playing blades for another 5 or 10 years, it'd be good.
Okay.
So I don't know. I'm open.
Well, we can get you looked after when that time comes around, get you fitted and get you on the course and get you testing some.
J-Day, no Masters.
No Masters for J-Day.
PGA and Players Championship only.
Okay. Who won the PIP? Phil won the PIP.
supposedly, yeah.
Apparently, Phil.
Did he? No, the PGA Tour don't announce it, but Phil certainly announced it.
Yeah. Phil announced it, and then a reporter said from a reliable source he believes it's true. That's about as far as it got. Phil number 1 and Tiger number 2, and Colin missed out at 11 was all I think the details I saw.
It's a joke.
40 million bucks, eh?
40 million. I think Phil gets 8. Was it 8? 8 or 10
8.
of the 40? Yeah.
It's a joke.
Oh, well.
Every single one of them should donate it back to either Tiger or donate it back to golf.
Yeah.
That'd be good. It's just it's a poor attempt by the tour to thwart whatever's happening with the Saudis and stuff like that. But, you know, the Saudi stuff is already going to take off. Like, this whole PIP thing is just baloney. Baloney.
Speaking of Saudi and the Saudi International, is that right? There's quite a few Aussies that have signed for that. You sent the picture out to us. So there's Herbie, Leash, Cameron.
Yep.
Who else?
Scott.
Adam. Who else?
Can't remember who else was there. It was actually quite surprising that the poster that went out had so many Aussies on it. That was a tournament poster, not an Aussie specific poster, but it looked like something that they were putting up for the Aussie Open or something. There's that many Aussies on it.
They got Xander, they got DJ, Patrick Reed, Tony Finau,
Smith.
So when is that?
First week of Feb.
Yeah,
it's right opposite the AT&T.
Pebble, yeah.
So AT&T is going to get slaughtered from a top ranking perspective.
Okay. Well, gents, if there's not too much else to cover off, we've had a fair bit of catch-up, jibber-jabber. We've announced some new beginnings for the podcast with the tipping competition. Thanks for joining us on that. We know now that when you look at Drummer Golf YouTube, you can see my mug on there doing these little vlogs, and we'll try and do some more of that. You know that we're playing golf tomorrow with some of our guests. It'd be great to be able to have the opportunity to play with some guests, whether it's at Sandringham, whether it's at Oakley, whether it's at Peninsula Kingswood or anywhere around the country. It's always good to be able to catch up. Can't promise that we can play, but you know, if you are in this part of the world, let us know. We might be able to play golf. I think we've covered off most of that.
That's it.
Yep.
Good luck to the Aussies this week. There's a fair few playing in Hawaii. So Herbie's there.
Who have we got?
Tournament of Champions, so all the winners. So Herbie's there. Cam Smith and Leash won the 2-man event, so they're there. Cam Davis is there. So there's only 38 or 36 players. So to have over 10% of the field, Aussies.
Yeah, because you got a fair few that won multiple times. So you had it's like Kevin Stewart Sink, the Saudi King, Jason Kokrak won a couple of times.
Yeah.
Who else won a few times?
What's his name? The guy who I reckon
Colin won a few.
Sam Burns, the man to
Sam
watch.
Burns,
this
he
year.
won 2. Yeah.
The man to watch this year. He's going to have a big year. That's my pick.
Okay, you heard it here first. Sam
Burns. But they're all the Aussies. Yeah. So Cam Davis, Cam Smith, Mark Leishman, Herbie, Matt Jones was the other one. Matt Jones.
Oh, that's right. Because he.
What did Matt Jones win?
Honda.
That's right. He did too.
Honda.
Yeah, it was Honda. Yeah.
Yeah. One of those ones. Was that one where everyone was astounded at that someone could play golf so fast? Just step up and shoot. Everyone was astounded at how fast he was. But I think Leash will go right this week. Leash likes Bermuda, and I think he might go well this week. But him and Sung J M are the two that I'll probably follow.
Okay, so Leash and Sung J M are Mike's tips. Rocket, are you going with anyone any different to that?
There's no wrong answers this week.
No. I don't know, a bit of Max.
Max, yeah. Okay.
Maxi Oma. And maybe... be surprised if I said P. Reed.
No, you just dropped out.
Rocket, you dropped out there, but your tips are...
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
No, but it's okay. Your tips are Max Homer and
Patrick Reed.
I think we caught... Will you be surprised if I say P. Reed? Nothing surprises me from you, Rocket Man. Nothing at all. But
I could hear you guys.
If you'd said Gary Higo, I would have probably been surprised. But everyone else, I was going to be, yep.
Definitely no top Scott market this week, is there, Mike?
No Scots, only 3 Europeans. So you got Rahm, Seamus Power, who we like, and Victor, I think. Big V.
Okay.
Yeah, couldn't even have a proxy where someone's first name was Scott. Didn't even have one of those either.
No.
Well, because I've been playing the new Chrome softball and it's an absolute beast of a golf ball, I'm going with John Rahm.
Like it. He's look, if he brings what he brought last year, he's going to be at the pointy end many, many weeks.
So that's my tip, John Rahm. Top European, top winner, top man, hasta la vista. Okay. I think we've pretty much covered it. As I said before, that's it. We're done.
We're done.
Excellent. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for listening, and thanks for joining us once again. And let's try and make this podcast bigger, better, larger than life than ever before. And we can't do it without you and your support. So we do appreciate every one of you. Until next week, we'll see you then. Thanks for listening.